Hi, welcome to my channel. This is just going to be a really quick video on how I take notes from books for university. This particular book was on my reading list, so I thought, well, while I've got a bit of time until term starts, I'll have a read of it through. This is for my philosophy module, which is existentialism and phenomenology, and I use these tabs. So I'll link the ones that I got. These are from Amazon. I'll link them in the description. They're a plastic, which, although I would prefer something that was degradable, these can be reused, and I often, when I've finished with this book and I take all the tabs out eventually, I do use them in other books as well. They do remain sticky for quite a while, and I try and keep them out of landfill for as long as possible. So these have been a really good bet. I really like these, and I have a different colour code for each book that I use. So for philosophy, I do physics as well. So for philosophy, I use pink for quotes. So any quotes that I see that I think, oh, that would be useful, I underline it with a pencil. You can't really see it, it's a bit faint. But I underline it with a pencil and make a little note of what maybe I was thinking about it, and I'll tab it in pink. The orange I use for key module points. So that's just any maybe definitions, or it's a different idea of the module as a whole. If it puts a bit of a different spin on existentialism, I'll tab it with orange and underline it. So when I come to maybe write an essay in a few months' time, I can just go straight to this book and I can go, right, okay, where are my key module points? And I'll be able to see them all in orange. Yellow is a similar one, except I use it for key section points. So I'm not sure how much yellow I've actually tabbed in here. Oh, there's one there. And for this, they're key points, but they're more key to the particular sections or the chapters. So again, when I come back to it, I can work out where my kind of key points were. So here's another orange one. So this is more of a key module point that I want to keep in mind, and this is more to do with the section as a whole. Green is, again, another quite specific one. It's for other philosophers' quotes. So particularly this chapter is about Dostoevsky, whereas it quotes Nietzsche down here, and it was quite an interesting quote and quite relevant as well, something I wanted to go back and look at, and I made a note as well of what I was thinking when I read it, and so I'll use the green tab to make a note of that. Blue is just simply relevant facts. The blue that I've got tabbed here, I think, is when Dostoevsky was born, when he died, where he was born. Another blue one was, I think, when Notes from Underground was published, yeah. So it's just a relevant fact, but I'll want to come back to at some point. And the last two are purple and violet. The purple one, or violet and purple, I'm not sure how well the colours look on here. But for this one, I use it for commentary. So anything that the author says, that's more, again, key. I want to remember that. I'll underline it with a pencil, and I'll tab it with a purple one. And this last one at the bottom, which is a little bit thinner than the rest of them, I use that if it's something that I think, I might want to look into at a later date, I tab it with purple. So I think for the purple one that I've got here, it was talking about when Dostoevsky wrote Notes from Underground, and I've got a feeling it's kind of a bit of Russian Revolution time. My history isn't great, so I just tabbed it with purple just to prompt me to look into it again, just in case if I ever write an essay, I can give some context and some background as to the things that I'm quoting. I do also use these tabs for other subjects. So again, I study physics as well. It's a joint honours degree. And if I'm reading a physics book, I'll use these tabs. They'll be for different things. So I'll still use the key module points and the key chapter / or section points, whatever you want to term it as. But things like green, obviously philosophers' quotes don't tend to crop up that much in physics books. So I might use the green for key equations or mathematical proofs. I'll use it for that one. If they are library books, I don't tend to use these tabs, and this is my own book, so I bought it with my money, so I'm happy to write in it, I'm happy to make notes in it, and I'm happy to stick the tabs in them. However, if it's a library book that I don't own, I don't write in it, I don't stick the tabs in it. Instead, I keep a notebook next to me when I'm writing, and instead of using the coloured tabs, I use something like this, like coloured pens or pencils, whatever I have to hand, and in that notebook I'll write down the quotes. So if I wanted to pick a quote from here, I would write down this quote in the notebook, I would make a little bullet point with pink, and then I would, write whatever else I was writing around this kind of thing, because I don't want to deface a book that's not mine. And if you are making notes or taking notes from lots of different books, which you probably will at university, you've probably got quite an extensive reading list. And if that's the case, I highly recommend getting a piece of paper, or just even if it's a scrap piece of paper in the back of a notebook or on your phone, that's where I personally keep mine, is making a key for the colours that you're using for each book. So I take the actual reference, if you're writing an essay, how you would reference it. So if you're using Harvard referencing or Vancouver, whatever your referencing system is, I write down the title of the book in the referencing system that we're using, and I make a key for the colours that I've also used, because sometimes you go back to it and you think, oh, hang on, what did I use for this? Because again, the colours that I use, the tabs that I use for philosophy aren't always the same for physics. So I recommend keeping a key somewhere where you can quickly go back and have a look. If you've not looked at it for a few weeks and you suddenly come to write an essay and you need them, you know exactly what your key points are, what your quotes are, what the commentary was, the quotes that you picked out because you liked. It just makes life a lot easier. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you have any questions or any other video ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments, and thank you for watching.